Parish Community College and the Division of Communication and Performing Arts present The Play's the Thing, a look at local theater events with Peggy Byers.
Hello and welcome to The Play's the Thing, aptly phrased from Hamlet, he said it best, and now we're saying it best today as we talk about all things theatrical and the arts in Shreveport-Bossier. And today I have with me my guest. This is Robin, Jones. I just went, just had a lapse in brain power. Robin Jones from Bossier Arts Council. And Robin's going to tell us a little bit about what Bossier Arts Council is doing. How did you yourself get involved in Bossier Arts Council? What's the background on that?
I had a wonderful art teacher growing up, and I thought the world of her, and she made a huge impact in my life. And then when we moved here from Alabama, I started working with some other nonprofits and eventually found my way to the Bossier Arts Council, and I fell in love with it. I've been there for 4 years, and I get an opportunity to work with children. I get an opportunity to work with teenagers and adults, and so that kind of feeds in my need for community and helping in the community and furthering and fostering those artists.
But just recently you became the director, is that
I
not
did.
true?
In July.
Okay.
I was promoted. Our executive director, Leanne Chambers, she got a job opportunity at the Symphony, and it was one that she had to take. It was such a good opportunity.
She couldn't refuse.
She couldn't refuse, that's right. And so I was promoted, and I've been there as the director since July.
Okay, so this is pretty recent for you.
It is.
Well, how has your job changed now that you're the director instead of just working for Bossier Arts Council?
I have to let some things go and delegate things that I have
not. Is that
not.
hard for you to do?
It is. It is. I have to delegate, and that's something I'm learning. We have a wonderful group of interns, and that's helping me. It's helping me.
Are any of them BIPSI students?
Yes, we have wonderful BIPSI student interns. And we have some LSUS interns as well, and some centenary. So.
Okay, and so you were telling me a little bit earlier about the Arts Council this time is not necessary. We know about the Art Gallery, and we'll talk about that some more later, but the theater division of the Arts Council there at East Bank, what's going on with that this season?
Well, we have as you know, a beautiful historic theater, East Bank Theater, and so we've noticed a trend in the last few years that there are a lot of theater companies that are producing theater.
Yes.
And we used to produce a season, but it's not really a need in our community at this time. What is a need is a space for up-and-coming theater companies who, first, second, third productions, who needed a place that would kind of give them a shot. And so our rental rates are really inexpensive. It gives them an opportunity to produce shows, and then we're not stepping on toes of other theater companies that are producing.
Okay, so one of the companies that you have coming into East Bank is River City Rep.
Correct.
River City Repertory Theater, which is the only professional theater here in Shreveport-Bossier.
Well, in North Louisiana, actually.
Oh, yeah.
So Patrick McWilliams is the director, and Patrick came to us a couple years ago and needed a home for River City, and a lot of his actors are that's their space. They know that space.
Yes,
They've been there for years and love the space, and so that's what I was trying to say. And he needed a space, so we allow them. They come and they do their entire season at East Bank Theater. And we have other theater companies as well. But Patrick is bringing in this season in October Margaret Avery from The Color Purple.
Right.
And she'll be co-starring with Richard Fulmer, who is an old pro at East Bank Theater.
And certainly he knows the theater space well.
He does.
Because he was there himself.
That's correct.
Yeah.
And he comes, once or twice a week, and we call him Trouble when he comes in the door, but he's not really. And so they're going to be doing the Gin Game, and like I said, in October. And then other theater groups that use our theater are the Academy of Children's Theater, Stage Center, Mahogany Ensemble Theater. They're producing the Black Theater Festival coming up next week. And then we use it for traveling theater groups. We just did Country Gravy and Other Obsessions that are traveling from Houston and from New York. And just a wide variety of things. We filmed last week a music video, and then next week we're doing a rock concert. So it's a lot of different things going on in that space.
So because that's what, we were talking about this in our first show, which we did about a week ago, about the fall preview.
Right.
And we were talking about all the shows that are coming up from all the different groups, and it's amazing how many theatrical groups here in town are producing, plays and so forth. And, we were saying, I didn't see anything much for East Bank. And I was wondering about that, so that's why I'm glad I had you on the show.
Well, if you look at all of those posters that they're doing, if you look at the bottom, it's at East Bank Theater. So we're trying to foster that.
And I directed once at East Bank a long time ago. I did Quilters there at East Bank and directed that. And so the guest directors, though, in town, I guess they're just finding other venues then. If they're not going to be able to direct at East Bank, they're going to,
Well, we're booked. Our theater's booked through 2016.
Oh, my goodness.
So there's no shortage of people wanting to rent the space.
Oh, okay.
And occasionally there's a day during the week that's available that we're catching some of these people traveling through, but it's pretty booked.
And this, what was the touring group that you mentioned? What was it?
Country Gravy and Other Obsessions.
Okay, and they're out of Houston. Are they an equity group, or are they a...
They are an equity group, yes.
Oh, okay.
And they travel around to different places, and they were going from Mississippi back to Houston on the last kind of leg of their tour.
Okay.
So they needed a space in Shreveport-Bossier.
And so when did they, or have they done that yet?
They've already done that.
Oh, okay.
They've moved.
When was that?
That was last month.
Oh, okay. Last month. Okay.
Yes.
So touring groups and individual groups, and lots of River City Rep has got it booked for like the next 4 shows, right?
Their entire season will be at East Bank
Their entire
Theater.
season is
Yes.
at East Bank. Okay. What else is going on in the gallery, and how do you get involved in gallery shows at East Bank?
Okay. Every March we send a call to artists. Artists will come and fill out, an application to hang in one of our galleries. We have several spaces, and they submit 3 to 5 of their digital images. And we have a gallery committee made up of your own John Wagner, Joshua Chambers, a talented arts teacher in Bossier, Jennifer Robeson, photography. And they go through all the applications and decide where that person is best suited and in which gallery. And then those are booked through 2016 as well.
Okay.
So we don't have a shortage of artists looking for spaces to hang either. So everything is just going and moving along really well.
How long has East Bank and the Bossier Arts Council been in that building? And it's an historic building, like you mentioned. I'd like for people who are watching and didn't know about it, what is some of the history behind the building?
Well, I'm actually learning. My husband is writing a book.
Oh.
And it's called The Images of America, and he's doing it for Bossier City.
Okay.
So as he's coming across these old photographs, they're in our space. So one of the most recent ones he found was at the back of our space, there's a really beautiful wooden door. And we knew that it was some sort of drive-in garage, but not, we just kind of assumed it was for the police cars. And it wasn't. There's a ladder truck sticking out of the back of our building.
Oh, okay.
And so that was kind of neat to find out. It's been a fire station, it's been a police station, it was the courthouse. And so actually our theater was the courtroom, and our dressing rooms were the holding cells. So we get a lot of judges who come back and say, oh, I was here from this year to this year, and I arrested Fair and Young right there, and Hank Williams was right there, and Willie Nelson was right there, and we held them, and so they come back with lots of great stories.
And if you ever go backstage at East Bank Theater, which I of course have been,
Correct.
the bars are still there.
They are still there, and as long as I'm alive, they will still be there. That is a point for me. The historical aspect of the building will stay as long as I'm alive and kicking.
Yeah. Because actors may feel a little bit intimidated that they're behind bars when you go back to
Right,
the
that's
dressing
right.
rooms, but that's what makes it fun.
It does.
It
And
is.
a lot of them enjoy the history.
Yes,
so.
absolutely. Well, we're going to take a quick break right now, but when we come back, we're going to talk some more about East Bank Theater and the Bossier Arts Council. So please stay with us, but right now, why don't we take a look at these messages? Thank you.
I teach a wide variety of things, including film editing, directing, documentary making, lighting. I fell in love with art as a young child, and it's just always something that has stuck with me.
You know, I love the whole process of going on set, going back into the editing room, telling a story. That's what I really love about film.
I got laid off from my job, and I figured this was the perfect opportunity to go to school to get a degree for it.
As a kid, I was really into geeky stuff. I couldn't think of anything else that I would rather do.
They really provide you with the equipment and you know, the necessary tools in order to, you know, advance in a career, especially in communications field.
Well, one thing that really drew me to video production especially is it's just a way to reach people. And as someone who likes to communicate with other people, I felt that mass communication, especially broadcasting, was a tool that I could use.
You get some hands-on experience. They've got good stuff to work with. They really know what they're doing, and they're willing to pass it on.
When our students leave Bossier Parish Community College, they are equipped to get a job immediately, or they can move on to a 4-year degree.
Hey.
Ready to go?
Yeah, but the fire's not out.
It's close enough.
Close enough? If it's too hot to touch, it's too hot to leave. I mean, the next thing you know, you've torched our whole neighborhood.
Which is why we're not going anywhere.
Exactly. 9 out of 10 wildfires are caused by humans.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to The Play's the Thing. It's a look at everything artistic, theatrical in the Shreveport-Bossier area. And we certainly have a lot of groups here that do support the arts. And right now, today, I am talking with Robin Jones, and she is a representative from Bossier Arts Council, which is one of the more prestigious arts councils here in town. They've been around a long time, housed in a historic building. And right across the street from you, a lot of people like that, too. What's right across the street from you?
There's Little Italiano right across the street.
L'Italiano.
And we're getting a new microbrewery next door.
Oh, really? What is that all about? Tell us,
It's
because that's really a trend here because, you know, we mentioned briefly that, you know, Oscar nominee Margaret Avery is going to be in town doing the gin game, and before she does the show at East Bank Theater with Richard Falmer, you know, a favorite of East Bank's and a lot of other theaters here in town, they're going to have a pizza party, pizza with the players.
Right,
have you heard about that?
I have.
And one of the big breweries here in town, Great Raft, is going to be represented at that party. What is the brewery that you're talking about? A microbrewery?
It's moving into the old fire station next door. It's called Flying Heart Brewery.
Okay.
And that's kind of all the details I have. They've been over and inspecting the space and measuring everything and kind of checking out the space. But and I'm not sure even when that'll be up and running. So soon, we hope.
Okay, and that's always, I remember when I lived in Austin for a while, and there were lots of microbreweries in downtown Austin near the courthouse, and I did a show down there, Always Patsy Cline, and it was it's just a very vibrant area, you know, lots of music, and you know, you don't have to overindulge. You can just do little mini tastings, and that's what so many breweries provide.
Right.
So that'll be a good asset right next door to you guys.
It is. One of the things I've been working on for the last year is is making that area a cultural district, and been working with the state on that. And you have 5 art entities within several blocks of each other, and when that occurs, you apply to be a cultural district. And what that means for our artists is they don't pay taxes on their artwork that they sell. We are then tax exempt from that as well. So having that microbrewery and then having the cultural district, I hope will revitalize that area downtown.
Okay.
with more
Yeah.
foot traffic.
Right.
Right.
That's what we're always trying to do with
Right.
the various historic, I live in Highland, which is already a historic district,
Right.
and of course downtown Shreveport has its little bits and pieces, but that really is the only way to grow and prosper, is to establish certain districts that are art districts and try to get people to
Right.
visit them and come down to them. So, and with your gallery downstairs, you already told how somebody can
Apply,
apply for the gallery. And so how often do you guys move shows in and out?
Well, we have several different galleries. Our main gallery, we change out every 2 months. Then we have an emerging artist gallery. If they have less than 6 exhibitions, they'll show in the emerging gallery, and it changes every 2 months as well. So those are kind of on the same schedule. Then we have artwork at 1800 Prime, located in Boomtown. That changes out every quarter. We have
No,
an-
I didn't know about that.
Okay.
Yeah, tell us about the Boomtown thing.
It's our galleries go on kind of a stair step. So once they've shown in the emerging gallery, they can show in the main gallery. And then 1800 Prime is a little bit more fine art, and so those that are kind of on a higher level of art hang there, and it hangs, like I said, we change artists every quarter. So for 4 months it hangs there, and the steakhouse is only open 3 or 4 days a week, but it's a different clientele of people. It's mostly traveling who are hanging out at the casino or just kind of visiting the casino. We have it's called Wine, Art, and Music. That's a reception for that particular artist, and it's Boomtown creates these pairings of wine and food. It's $20 the admission, but they feed you really well. So
I was making that face because $20 seems really inexpensive to me.
it really is, and they say wine tasting, but they pour you a glass.
So it's not just a little sip. And then
no,
swish it
not at
around and
all.
spit it out.
And it's Chef Ryan, amazing. The food is so good. And
This is something that people need, how getting the word out on something like that is a whole evening.
Well, they can go to
basically.
our website and sign up for our newsletter. All that information is in there. The last Wine, Art, and Music, C.J. Myers is our current artist hanging in there. She sold 2 pieces, and they took them off the wall and took them home.
Oh, wow.
And so, it's great for the artist to have a different audience to see their work. We also hang at Community Trust Bank, and that changes out every 3 months. And then we have, for our student artists, our little ones.
Because that's what we need, the students that want to get involved with
The
all
little
this.
ones, we hang at.
The little.
The little ones.
What age group are we talking about?
Less than 10.
Oh, okay.
They hang at the Get the Scoop, yogurt
okay.
shops.
Yeah.
So we
that's not
have
far
some
from me,
non-traditional
Kings Highway.
galleries that, and then we also have a little space at the Community Foundation building downtown where we hang art.
Well, it's really prolific how far you're reaching out.
It is, and we constantly have businesses who want us to hang art in their space, and coordinating that with a staff of 2 is a little bit difficult. So we're trying to work that out.
You work hard every day.
We work a lot of hours.
Okay.
But it helps that you love your job and
Yes,
and
absolutely.
that you want to come every day and make the biggest impact that you can.
Right. What would we be without the arts, right? Okay.
It would be very boring
Yeah, and very gray.
and very gray. That's right.
What about, are you guys doing anything this season? I know that you've talked about the different reasons why you're choosing not necessarily to do productions there at East Bank.
Right.
How about some of the acting classes and things like that you've had in the past?
We aren't currently offering any acting classes. We've had a lot of, because film is so big in this area, we've had a lot of scouts that are doing workshops and TV movie workshops, resume workshops that are renting our space in order to do those. We had 2 last weekend.
Oh, really? Who was it?
Morgan Casting was one of them, and then
Because see, our students are always asking me about who can I talk to about learning more about the craft of acting, and sometimes
well,
I
no,
don't
we have a
the answers.
specific list, and whenever there are audition opportunities or whenever there are casting companies that come into town. We just share that with our membership. So same thing, if they go to our website and sign up for the newsletter, all of that information is on there.
Okay, and where was Morgan Casting out of?
They are out of New Orleans.
Okay. Is that typical? Do you have a lot of people from LA or people more from New Orleans, or where?
Some
when you're
from New
working with some
York,
of these
some
people?
from New Orleans, and quite a bit from Texas as well.
Okay, like Houston and Dallas? Okay, because I know, speaking of Richard Fulmer again, that he will sometimes go to Dallas for an audition, even though he lives here in town as a
Correct.
Shreveport actor.
Correct.
He'll go to Dallas, if his agent feels like he's really going to have a good chance of getting the part.
Right.
So I know there's just a handful of people here in town that are professional actors, in other words, a member of Actors Equity.
Correct.
So I know that he was one of the ones too. So, okay. All right, so right now we're just going to take another quick break.
Okay.
And then we're going to come back and kind of wrap up the whole thing about Bossier Arts Council and what they're doing and their new season, and a little bit more from Robin. Okay, so
Great.
stay tuned, and we'll be back after these messages.
Thank you.
One of my biggest passions in life is animals. That's why I've worked with Morris Animal Foundation for over 40 years. Morris Animal Foundation is a world leader in helping animals live longer, healthier lives. You can too. Just show your support at morrisanimalfoundation.org.
To help cats, dogs, horses, and wildlife live healthier lives, visit morrisanimalfoundation.org, where we are advancing science that will create a healthier tomorrow for animals.
Storms come up fast. Storm Protect Your Family now. We want you to know a safe room or storm shelter can provide the highest protection for your family during tornadoes and other severe windstorms. To learn more about how you can protect your family and property from storms, visit getagameplan.org and click on Mitigation Plan. Louisiana, we can do this. This mitigation message brought to you by the Governor's Office of Homeland Security and Emergency Preparedness.
Odds of becoming an astronaut, 1 in 13,200,000. Odds of being struck by lightning, 1 in 576,000. Odds of dating a supermodel, 1 in 88,000. Odds of bowling a perfect game, 1 in 11,500. Odds of being trapped in an elevator, 1 in 24,528. Odds of catching a ball at a major league game, 1 in 563. Odds of an injury from shaving, 1 in 6,585. Odds of tripping while texting, 1 in 10. Odds of getting cancer in your lifetime, 1 in 2 men, 1 in 3 women.
It's up to us
to change the odds for our generation.
For the ones we love.
For our future.
If you don't like the odds,
stand up. Stand up to cancer.
Okay, welcome back, everyone. We don't have that much more time, but my Robin Jones, constantly I own you, Robin Jones from Bossier Arts Council was telling us a little bit about DigiFest this year. So briefly tell us about your involvement with DigiFest this year.
Okay, this was our 3rd annual DigiFest, and we brought in over 1,300 students from Caddo Parish, Bossier Parish, Lincoln Parish, Webster Parish.
A lot of parishes.
We wrote a grant and received money to bus in the students and to pay for their subs. And it's a digital arts festival. It's all things that encompass digital arts, from drones to 3D printers and scanners to your Bipsy was there.
Yes,
and
we were.
They were, and the kids love playing with the cameras and learning things. There was an Oculus Rift. There was facial recognition software. The Shriners Hospital brought their orthotic devices and talked about the art of making orthotics or prosthetic limbs. And
so you've steadily seen the people that are participating and the people that are attending growing and growing?
Yes, we had planned on being at the convention center for 5 years and then graduating to the CenturyLink Center, but this year we just had so many people, we had to kind of go ahead and go over to the CenturyLink Center. It's grown faster than we would have ever imagined.
Yeah, the way digital technology tends to do.
Right, and we just want to share with those students. We brought in 7th and 8th graders and 11th and 12th graders, and we want to track their progress through the years to see if they end up in a technology field and kind of what inspired them to get there. And if we can play a small part in that, you know, that's kind of icing on the cake for us.
So DigiFest was a success for you guys. I think it was for us as well. So everybody was pretty much satisfied with that.
I have been inundated with calls and emails from teachers just saying how much they loved it, and I just could not be more happy.
Oh, good. And what was the thing, too, you were telling me about 3 on the other project?
Oh, yes. We're partnering with Landers Shreveport Fiat to do, it's kind of a March Madness basketball bracket kind of deal. But each week 3 artists will compete, and the winner of that week will advance to the next to the final round. And each week the artist that wins will receive an art supply basket, you know, gift basket, and then they'll each winner, the winner from each week will compete the final week for $1,000 cash prize.
Oh, all right. Money talks, right?
So it's just one more venue for the artists to show their work to a different audience.
Oh, you mentioned that you had an art teacher that really influenced you, going back to you personally. Do you still do, you know, do you work with art?
I do. I paint. I love photography. That's kind of my thing. I'm a crafty kind of person. I build, I paint theater sets.
Oh, okay.
I build props. Both of my kids do theater, so it just kind of that theater mom came out in me. I don't know what to say.
And your children right now, you mentioned that a little bit before the show. They're one of them. Where are they right now?
I have a daughter. She's 18. She's double majoring in theater and English at Louisiana Tech.
Okay.
So she's only been gone for a few weeks, and I've cried every day. But she's, you know, such a good kid. And then I have a 15-year-old boy, and he's into video games and and engineering. And so at DigiFest, he and his team created a video game.
Oh, okay.
And there were hundreds of kids playing his video game.
That's
so that was really cool.
Well, Robin, I just want to say thank you so much for coming on the show and representing Bossier Arts Council, one of the thriving artistic venues here in town. And we'll see you again next time on The Play's the Thing. And until then, go out and support the arts, everybody. Okay, we'll see you next time.
Great.
And the Division of Communication and Performing Arts present The Play's the Thing, a look at local theater events with Peggy Byers.